Namaste, yogis, and welcome to our flexibility flow. Let's begin in a comfortable seat. Rest the hands lightly in the lap. Close your eyes. Feel that the sit bones are grounded into the earth and the crown of the head is magnetizing toward the sky. Simply bring your awareness to your breath. Just notice the depth, the quality, and the sound as the breath flows in and out. Begin to elongate the inhalation and the exhalation. Let's take a full breath in together and open your mouth. Exhale, let it go. Close the lips and come back into that steady rhythm of breath. We'll come into our first posture by extending the left leg long and pulling the sole of the right foot to the inner left thigh. Feel the sit bones connected to the earth, and on an inhale, sweep the arms high. As you exhale, hinge forward from the hips, keeping the spine long as you clasp the shin, the ankle, or the foot. It's our first posture, so no need to push the body. Instead, just notice how you're arriving in your practice today. Feel some sensation, and then simply let the breath take it from there. As you breathe in, sit back up tall and place the right sole of the foot to the outside of the left thigh. Wrap your left arm around the right knee and place the right hand behind you. Look over the right shoulder. Take a gentle twist. On an exhale, release that pose. We'll place the right sole of the foot and the left sole of the foot to touch. Pull the feet in close to the body. Sit up nice and tall and then hinge forward at the hips. Think of leading with the heart. So the heart reaches forward. The spine will stay long. As you inhale, rise back up and let's come into our other side. Extend the right leg long and place the left sole of the foot to that right inner thigh. Inhale to reach the arms overhead and exhale. Hinge forward, clasping wherever is accessible along that right leg. Keep the crown of the head motivating toward the top of your mat. And as you inhale, rise back up. Take that left foot and place it on the outside of the right thigh. Wrap the right arm around the left knee and place the left hand around behind you as close as you can to the tailbone. Keep the spine tall here so we're not slumping through the spine, but rather twisting as we extend and create space. Gaze forward, release the legs. This time soles of the feet will touch, but we'll keep the feet farther from the body, creating a diamond shape. And once again, hinge forward from the hips, keeping the spine long. Notice the different sensation here in the diamond shape versus the butterfly pose. Yoga is so much about attuning to our body and all the different parts, how they're open, how they're restricted, and then simply inviting less restriction and more spaciousness. Inhale to rise. Place the hands behind you, fingers face the feet. On an inhale, lift through the hips, bringing the hips in line with the knees, shoulders, hips, and knees in one straight line. On an exhale, let's lower the hips back down to the earth. Extend the legs straight out in front of you, flex the feet, sweep the arms alongside the ears, and we'll come into a seated forward fold. Once again, keeping the spine long. Think of heart leading the way, crown of the head reaching toward the top of the mat. So even though it may look like a passive pose, let there be subtle movements with each breath. Each inhalation magnetizing the crown of the head forward, each exhalation offering the opportunity to relax into the pose. On your next inhale, begin to rise back up, lengthening the spine. Balance the weight onto the sit bones as you bend your knees, and we'll come into a boat pose. You can begin by just floating the feet off of the earth, or if you're feeling more confident, stronger, you can extend the legs straight. Arms will stay parallel with the mat. Think of the crown of the head as an extension of the spine, so the chin is not tipping down to the chest for this pose. Rather, the entire spinal column, including the neck and head, are elongating. Let's release the feet to the earth. We'll come forward onto hands and knees. Align the shoulders directly over the wrists and the hips over the knees. On an inhale, open the heart. As you exhale, round the upper spine, tuck the chin to the chest. Inhale, open the heart, chest moves forward. Exhale, round your spine, chin to chest. Move with your breath, allowing your inhale to open and expand the heart, and the exhale to round and alleviate tension between the vertebrae. After your next exhale, come back to a neutral spine. Step back into plank pose, lower down all the way onto the belly. We'll come into Sphinx pose, placing the elbows under the shoulders, palms stretching forward. See how much length you can get out of the body, all the way from the toes through the crown of the head. This is another place where the heart will lead, so imagine the heart bursting forward as if it's coming through the gateway of the shoulders. Let's release our Sphinx pose, place the palms under the shoulders, and we'll press back into downward facing dog. Take a few moments here to pedal out through the feet. Maybe shift the hips side to side. Do whatever feels really good to your body in this first downward facing dog. And then sink the heels to the earth. Sit bones will reach high. Find a moment of stillness. and a moment to reconnect to your breath. Let's take a breath in together. And as we exhale, come forward into plank pose. Let's lower the left knee down to the mat, spin the right foot flat, balance on the left hand, and reach the right arm up to the sky. Press the weight of the pose into the pinky toe edge of that right foot and extend the right arm up and overhead. Get a nice stretch through the entire right side body. And to protect that left shoulder, make sure the left hand is under the shoulder. Let's release the right hand to the earth, step the right foot forward between the hands, and on an inhale, let's rise up, placing the palms on the knees, interlacing the fingers, straightening through the elbows. Think of pressing the torso away from the knee and the knee forward, but not past the toes. On your exhale, release your hands down to the earth, straighten the right leg, flex the right toes. Make sure to keep the left hip aligned over the left knee and fold the torso forward over the right leg. On your inhale, re-lengthen through the spine, bend the right knee, come off of the left knee, and take a few pulses up and down, just lubricating through that left hip flexor. Let's straighten through the right leg, this time staying on the ball of the left foot. Inhale into the lunge. And exhale, press back, modified pyramid. Inhale, lunge. And exhale, plant the palms. This time step back into a high plank pose. Hold here for a breath. On the next exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. And as you exhale, come all the way down to the belly. Release the feet. Inhale into a cobra pose. Lift the hands off of the mat. Tuck the elbows in tight. Exhale, lower the crown of the head. Press back to child's pose. Tuck the toes and lift into downward facing dog. Receive a deep breath in and let it go. Lower the right knee to the mat. Spin the left foot flat. And inhale, sweep the left arm high. Press into the pinky toe edge of that left foot as you extend the left arm up and overhead. You should feel a nice side body stretch on the left side. As you exhale, replace that left hand. Step the left foot forward between the hands and inhale, rise up, interlace the fingers, press the palms against that left knee. Press the torso away from the knee. Lift the crown of the head to the sky. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, plant the palms on the earth. Straighten through the left leg. Flex the left toes. Be mindful of keeping the right hip on top of the right knee, which might mean you need to scoot that left heel forward or backward, just depending on the length of your leg. Fold forward over the left leg, but the spine will stay straight. Re-bend through the left knee, come off of the right knee, take a few pulses up and down, massaging out through the right hip flexor. As you breathe out, fold over the straightened left leg. Inhale back to the lunge. Exhale, fold and straighten. One more time, inhale into the lunge. And this time, plant the palms, step the left foot back. Take a breath in, lower halfway as you exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. And as you exhale, this time just press straight back to downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift the right toes high, bend the right knee, open up through the right hip flexor. Think of pointing the right knee up to the sky, and at the same time, keep equal weight between the right and left palms. As you exhale, step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Stay on the ball of the left foot. You can hinge forward and back, just feeling the hips, noticing where there's openness and where there's room for expansion. We'll stay here in our runner's lunge for a breath or two. From here, let's spin the left foot flat and come into an extended side angle. Left arm reaches up and overhead. Right hand extends with fingers reaching toward the earth, or feel free to place a block under that right hand. Imagine pulling the left hip back as you shift the right hip forward and rise up for warrior two. Right knee is stacked on top of the right ankle. Arms are strong. Extend even through the fingertips. Straighten the right leg, flip the front palm, and let's reverse our triangle. Left hand rests on the left leg, right arm reaches up and overhead. Breathe in and breathe out. Next breath in carries you back to neutral arm position, and as you exhale, reach the right hand forward and drop it down for triangle. Left hand reaches up to the sky. Equal energy through both hands. Right hand gathering energy from the earth. Left hand gathering energy from your higher power. Connecting in your own heart center. Let's bend the right knee, lower the left hand, heel toe the right foot out, one footprint, two footprints maybe, and come onto the pinky toe edge of the right foot. We'll come down to the left elbow, reach the right arm up and back, clasping the back foot if that's accessible for you. And if it's not, just stay with both elbows resting on the earth. Release the right hand, come back to both palms. Step the right foot back, lower halfway. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left toes reach to the sky. Bend the left knee. Think of pointing the left knee up to the sky. Equalize the weight in the hands. Gaze forward, and on an exhale, step that left foot to the outside of the left hand. Stay on the ball of the right foot. Take a few pulses forward and back. And now let's spin that right foot flat. On an inhale, sweep the right arm up to the sky. Press the weight into the pinky toe edge of the right foot and extend the right arm overhead. Left fingertips reach to the earth or a block. If you find that top hip tilting forward, back out of the pose just a little. Inhale, rise up, warrior two. Gaze stays strong over the left fingertips. Receive a breath in and a breath out. Find steadiness of mind. Straighten through the left leg as you reverse your triangle. Left arm reaches up and overhead. Right arm rests on the right leg. Inhale, rise back up. Reach as far as you can through the left fingertips and then lower the left hand as you reach the right arm up to the sky. Be mindful of that top hip, that it's not dropping forward. Think of pulling it back in space. As you exhale, lower the right hand. Heel toe the left foot to the outer edge of the mat. Drop the right knee to the earth. Lower the elbows down to the mat. Cross the right forearm across the mat. Bend the back knee. Reach back with the left hand and clasp that right ankle or foot. If that's not accessible, then just stay with both elbows resting on the mat. Open the heart and then release on your exhale. Back to both palms. Step back to high plank. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, this time come into side plank. Right hand stays grounded. Left arm reaches high. Shoulders stacked. Allow the gaze to follow the top hand. Take a breath in and a breath out. Next breath out lowers you back to plank pose. And then the next breath in takes you to side plank on the other side. Left hand will be the foundation this time. Right hand reaches high. Gaze follows the right fingertips. Keep lifting through the hips. Breath in. And as you take a breath out, replace the right hand, coming into high plank pose. Inhale and exhale, lower. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, press it back, downward facing dog. Receive a breath in and a breath out. From here, we'll drop down to our forearms, coming into a dolphin pose. If you have any shoulder injuries, you can interlace the fingers. This will help to protect the shoulder joints. Keep sinking the heels down to the earth, lifting the sit bones high, making sure that the elbows are not splaying out farther than shoulder distance. From here, let's walk the feet back. We'll come into a dolphin plank pose. So just like our traditional plank pose, elbows are directly underneath the shoulders, core is engaged, heels magnetized toward the back of the mat, and then release toward the mat, coming back into a Sphinx pose. We've been here before today, so see if the heart can move just a little bit closer to the top of the mat. From here, palms come underneath the shoulders. Inhale into upward facing dog, and exhale, press it back, downward facing dog. Gaze to the top of the mat, jump forward, separate the feet hip distance. Take the two peace fingers of each hand, clasp the big toes, and as you exhale, fold into this standing forward fold. Use the traction that you're creating by clasping the big toes to pull the torso closer to the legs. Release the hands. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and as you exhale, separate the feet wider until they're mat distance apart. Toes will point off of the edges of the mat. Squat down for Malasana, hands at heart center. Sink deeply through the hips and imagine that the heart is beaming forward, not pointing down at your mat, but rather shine that heart forward in front of you like a great big flashlight. From here, let's rise straight up, reaching our prayer hands overhead. Step the feet to touch and draw the hands to your heart space. Take a breath in and a breath out. On an inhale, pull the right knee into your chest, interlacing the hands around that right kneecap. Keep the spine long and feel that the left foot is rooted down to the earth. Place the right ankle on top of the left knee. Bend the left knee like you're coming into a chair pose. Push the hips back and the crown of the head forward as you fold into standing pigeon pose. Hands can rest on the earth for balance, or if you'd like to keep them at your heart, feel free to do so. On your inhale, rise back up and lower the right foot down to the earth. Inhale, pull the left knee into the chest. Pull the shoulders back, down, and away from the ears. Preparing for our pigeon pose, place that left ankle on top of the right knee. Bend the right knee. Hinge forward at the hips. Come into standing pigeon with hands at heart center or resting on the earth. Keep bending through the right knee to sink deeper into the pose. On your inhale, slowly rise back up to standing. Replace the left foot beside the right. Let's step that right foot out to the side, square off the feet, coming into Prasarita. On an exhaling breath, release the torso as you fold forward. Hands can reach down and clasp the outsides of the ankles. I'll stay here for 3 deep breaths. On your next inhale, walk both hands to the outside of the left ankle and just pull the torso over that left leg. Now walk the hands through center and over to the outside of the right ankle. Torso moves over the right leg. Inhale, walk back through center, and this time all the way to the top of the mat. Step back into downward facing dog. On an inhale, reach the right toes up to the sky. As you exhale, come into pigeon pose, right knee to the outside of the right wrist, Extend the left leg long behind you. You might even check to make sure that that left leg is directly in line with the hip rather than out to the right or left. Walk the hands forward and settle in for several deep breaths. As you inhale, rise back up. Spin onto the right sit bone and bring that left leg forward, placing the right sole of the foot to the inside of the left leg. Inhale, reach the arms high, and exhale, fold forward over the straightened left leg. Notice how the body has softened and opened through your practice. On your next breath in, begin to rise out of the pose. Bend the knees and just roll over the knees onto the palms. Step back into downward facing dog. Inhale and sweep the left toes to the sky. As you exhale, come into your pigeon pose, remembering to keep that left foot flexed and extend the right leg straight back behind you. Walk the hands forward, settle the mind, settle the energy. Just drop into a deep state of presence. As you inhale, begin to walk the palms back up, spin onto the left sit bone, and extend the right leg straight out in front of you. Place the left sole of the foot to the right inner thigh, sweep the arms overhead, and fold forward. Notice how each time you come to your yoga mat, the body softens and opens. The same thing occurs with the mind. The mind begins to release some of its stress and tension, so there's a softening that takes place. Inhale to rise back up. From here, let's extend both legs straight forward, bend the knees, slowly roll down onto your back. Place the feet on the earth, preparing for bridge pose. Inhale to lift the hips. Magnetize the knees toward one another so they don't splay out. Interlace the fingers underneath you and shimmy the shoulders side to side to tuck those underneath the torso. Slowly unwind, rolling down the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Place one hand to the heart, one hand to the abdomen. Just feel the breath. Begin to deepen the breath as it flows in and out. Let's extend the feet toward the sky. You can stay with feet pointing to the sky or extend the legs behind you, coming into plow pose. For those of you in plow pose, Interlace the hands, straighten through the elbows, and imagine lifting the sit bones up to the sky. If you're in plow pose, bring the hands to the low back and support the body as you roll down into a flat back, and let's all bend the knees, placing the feet on the earth. Extend the legs straight out. Place the palms underneath the bum. Press into the elbows to lift the heart, and as long as it's comfortable for your neck, gaze backward, lifting the chin to the sky, opening the heart and the throat. Slowly release. And from here, let's come into our final rest, Shavasana. Allow the arms to open comfortably wide, the feet to fall open. Close your eyes. Allow yourself to be fully present. Nothing to do, nowhere to go for just a few minutes. Your only job is to simply relax. Begin to reintroduce some gentle movement into your body. Deepen your breath. As you're ready, bend your knees and hug them into your chest. Roll over to your right side. Notice the transition of your yoga as you prepare to move into the rest of your day. Keeping the gaze inward, rise up to a seat. And let's close out our practice the same way that we began, simply noticing the breath. Let's receive a deep breath in and open your mouth, exhale, let it go. Thank you so much for joining me for practice today. I hope that this flexibility flow will help you to develop flexibility in both your body and your mind. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.